Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Oliver Wiedmaier at Ollie_all caps on Twitter, founder of Voyage Trading Group. Today is October 15th, 2022, and we had a very volatile week. So let's just jump right into the charts and take a look at a recent price action. Okay, so we can see here on the QQQ chart that on October 13th, we had this really high volume follow through day. Something to note about follow through days is not every follow through day leads to a bull run, but every bull run does start with a follow through day. So it's very important that we track these follow through days. And there's some nuances that I'll bring up that might be very interesting and something to think about moving into the week ahead. So we had this follow through day, and then we did close lower on a nasty sell off on Friday. You can see this nasty bar here. You can look at the SPY closed right back into the consolidation period, but this was just super nasty and is not what you want to see. What you want to see is the next day, another really high volume day, closing above these key moving averages. And you can see we are still below the 8 EMA. We're still below the 21 EMA. This 200-day simple moving, sorry, this green line is a 50-day simple moving average, and it is heading down like that. Ultimately, you want to see it kind of flatten out and then start to curl up. But when you see this thing really starting to point down like that with the pointing down 200-day moving average, it's a very clear indication which way the longer term trend is. I will note this about the follow through day. The follow through day is valid until we take out the low. And so typically what you want to see is a follow through day 4 days after the low. And so even though we had this follow through day, it did make the low here, which is a little bit unusual than what we've seen in previous follow through days. But so this is a new low. So if this is the day one attempt rally, then Friday's day two, Monday will be three. So we could see another follow through day Wednesday or Thursday. We have to see how we open for the week. But if we consolidate here, or if we kind of start working our way up, back up again, we could see a follow through day, ideally Wednesday or Thursday. Taking out the declining 21-day moving average would really set us up for the next run. Of course, we don't know where the run will start. We don't know if it will happen. We could very well keep declining on a longer time frame weekly. We do have some support in this area, 249. We could see some support here at 260. And then, we could go even as low as 160. Not very likely. We are already down, is that right? over 30% on the Nasdaq. So we've taken out a lot of key areas. We haven't been able to hold key areas, so a lot of damage is done. Very importantly, in individual names, there's been a lot of damage done. We look at charts like Netflix, for example. Netflix has been in a downtrend since November 2021. And so a lot of people think that the indices in started off the bear market, but in all actuality, if you take a look at the QQQ versus Netflix, which is a previous leader, definitely had a way nastier bear market, taking out way more lows, getting deeper, I should say, from the high, down, 76% at one point. And you can see that in, look at another leader like Peloton. How insane is this? I remember I was shorting it. Here. Back when I was thinking they couldn't go any lower, and it's proven to be incorrect. It is down, wow, 80% since when I was shorting it over here. Let's see what the daily looks like on that short. I was shorting it there. I shorted this move down here. And there's other names. You can even look at names like Microsoft. Microsoft has been in a downtrend since really yeah, that November. And so a lot of damage has been done. Look at a Microsoft. Microsoft from the high is down yeah, I mean 1 point close to 40%. And so, when you look at these individual names, it's very clear that a lot of damage has been done. And so, I think once a buyer steps in, they say, "Okay, enough is enough." But really, what we want to see is a move from the Fed. A Fed pivot will really give the confidence that the big institutions need to have before they really start putting money in. But I think we are closer to it um, than we have been previously. I think just my opinion is that with midterms coming up, I think the Fed will either pivot or pause. And I think that will give the opportunity for the institutions to start buying up some of these names that have been really, really bought down to over 80% in some cases. Let's look at some internals. The VIX is still over that 30, 32. We haven't seen that 40 spike that I have mentioned basically all year. I want to see a spike above 40. If we don't get that, that's okay. We don't need it. But we really very interesting is the VIX is kind of stuck here in this 30 to 32 range. And the market is keep going down. So we don't know exactly what that means. I'm not an expert in what that means, but I can tell you that it's very interesting. But I will note and give you guys some breath of fresh air, which is when we start getting below 25 on the VIX, trading is going to be so much easier. I say this all the time. Trading is unbelievably, it feels easy when you are especially under 20. Trading feels so much easier and it's such less stressful. And trading up here is very hard to do. And so if you're a swing trader, can slim style swing trader, I'm waiting for 25 or even a 20 VIX, things are going to be much easier to do. And until then, I am staying mostly in cash or shorting. Here is the put call ratio. Again, we had this spike and now we're kind of leveling out in this kind of area. We kind of keep hitting this resistance at 0.8. And we really need it to kind of break down and get down to 0.6, 0.5 even. And again, that's when you'll see trading become much, much easier. And so I don't have too much more to talk about. 50-day moving average, the percent of stocks above is 18%. That's very low. We actually are making more low, 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 low. And so at some point, we either need to see a spike or we need to see it start a spike to the downside or start grinding its way back up. Because until that number doesn't, until this number improves, the individual stocks that we like and we trade are just not going to start. They're not going to work because we want to trade above that medium time frame of 50-day moving average. That's a very important moving average for us. Last one we'll look at is a 200-day down to almost 21% of stocks. And again, we need to start grinding back up. We see it consolidating in this area again, which means I think most of the damage is done. And that's my opinion. I think if we ignore the indices, of course the indices give individual stocks the confidence and the push that we need. But I think if by looking at the internals, the damage is done for most of the names. And I think it's just people are waiting for the Fed to pivot or we're waiting for some sort of confirmation that we can re-enter the market with our capital that we have on the sidelines. And I think we can see that by looking at this chart, by looking at the number of 200 days, we're not getting any lower. This is it. This is I think this is where we end. I don't want to call it bottom, but I think that it's very unlikely that we take this number out. And if we do take this number out, then it's going to be a quick snapback that we saw in 2020. So again, we'll take a look one last time at the cues. We have potential support here at the 240 area. If this follow through day does fail, then it's likely either we have a bounce around 260 or we have the bounce a little bit lower. But I'm looking for Wednesday or Thursday on the indices for another follow through day. And at that time, my strategy is to re-enter the market with 5 names, one being some sort of leveraged ETF, and 4 leaders, with only risking 1 to 1.5% total capital on that day, with stops at the low of the day. And so if this is a strategy you're interested in or you want to learn more about, please, I encourage you to join the Discord. I do offer $25 a month of a paid premium service where you get basically full access to me and anything I know, anything that I can educate you on or mentor you on. I try to provide a very, very timely and quickly response to all of my education members. And most importantly, I do trade live. And so you will learn exactly what I'm thinking and doing by seeing what I do. And it's a community, and we have about 180 people, and it's really fantastic. If that's something you're interested for Voyage Trading Group, the mentorship and education program, please click the link either in the description or in my bio on Twitter. Okay. I will be posting my focus list and my true market leaders list in the Discord behind that paywall. So if you're interested, you do have a free 7 days. So please consider. If you like this video, want to see more, please like and subscribe. Have a good day. Later, guys.